Hey guys, it's the day after Christmas. It's a beautiful day. It's 78 degrees in December, end of December, which is ridiculous. But so I'm at the airport, going to do some work. Got the hanger up, trying to air out some of the water. This hanger doesn't have a real good seal at the bottom. I need to fix that because it gets a little wet. But yesterday on Christmas, I actually got asked, and I've been asked this question a number of times before, and I typically don't want to touch it, but yesterday I got asked the same question by two completely separate people at two separate events. There's no way they could have collaborated, so I figured I'd go ahead and answer the question. The question is, am I sponsored by Vans in doing these videos? No, I'm not. And you might begin to understand why I didn't want to touch this question, is because it could potentially be a little sticky subject. But no, I'm not in any way sponsored by Vans. I don't get any money or any advantage or price off or discount or anything like that for doing these videos. So I'm not sponsored by them. But I am supported by them in the same way that you would be if you were to get one of these kits. I have to admit that Vans has been awesome when it comes to their phone support and email support. If you have a question, you're not sure about something, you give them a call, and they've always got someone. First of all, there's always someone answering the phone immediately, and there's always somebody there to get you the answers you need. And that has been really very helpful. So am I sponsored by them? No. Am I supported by them? Yes. Everybody is who builds one of their aircraft, and that's really, really, really great. I thank you, Vans. It's awesome. I even know a couple times I called out, so they've got like a window of hours, and I know I called outside that window at one point, and there was still someone there that was able to help me, which is just really, really great. An addendum to that is one of the people asked me if anybody at Vans was watching these videos and making comments on them. I don't know. I don't actually have real strong metrics of who is watching the videos or who any of the people are. I mean, I know I have a number of subscribers. I know there are a lot of views. I mean, I can see the number of views. I say a lot. There's a couple hundred per video. But I have no clue if any of those people are Vans aircraft people. If you are a Vans aircraft person, please comment below and tell me if I'm doing all right. I mean, if you see me, if you see me doing something wrong, tell me. That way I can fix it and not pass bad information on to others, right? But other than that, I have no idea if anybody at Vans is actually watching this. I hope so. Probably, right? I mean, I would. If I were the manufacturer, I would totally want to see what people are saying. So, but I have no confirmation one way or the other.
So the next natural question is, are my wings here yet? And the answer is no. Actually, the wings, I do have a delivery date, so January the 5th, which is just a couple days away now. I'm very excited. And, you know, the thing you have to realize, and that I have realized, is that it takes, there's an 8-week lead time. And there's just no getting around that. When you order anything but I think the Empennage, there is an 8-week period of time where you just wait. That period of time allows Vans to then do what is called just-in-time manufacturing, or at least I assume that's what's going on. But basically, they are building all the pieces and parts and ordering and organizing and you know, putting it all together. And that just takes a period of time. And it's 8 weeks. And that's not even including shipping, by the way. That is just the amount of time it takes to box it all up and get it ready for shipping. From a user standpoint, for some, you know, from a standpoint of an individual that is buying a part from a company, I hate this. You know, it's one of those things where, you know, I order it, I kind of expect it to be like Amazon Prime. I order it, it's delivered tomorrow, right? But from a manufacturer standpoint, especially as a small business owner, I get it. I totally understand why they use this just-in-time manufacturing. And that's because, you know, if they didn't, they would have all these assembled kits, or they would have to have all these assembled kits sitting around waiting to be ordered. That not only takes, you know, money in the form of manufacturing and, you know, having a lot of money tied up into parts that may or may not get ordered, but also you have to have a place to store it and, you know, inventory it and all the other things that go along with it. And I just think that I get it. You know, it's a pain. from a user standpoint, but from a company standpoint, it does make sense. Even so, I ordered the wings on October the 30th, and here it is, the 31st of December right now, and they're on their way. I mean, it took a little over 2 months for them to get here, and that's just how it is. So be it. As to the rest of what's going on in this video, I'm basically assembling, doing the final assembly, if you will, of all the pieces, all the fairings, doing the match drilling, enlarging the holes, and as well as doing the dimpling and countersinking on the fairing pieces themselves, and getting everything put together. I made a mistake and ran the battery out and didn't hear it bleep, so I'm going to start talking about some of my thoughts and what I want to do next now that I have absolutely nothing left to do. But you'll note there's a giant chunk where you don't get to see me put the vertical stabilizer and the rudder and all that back on the plane. Sorry about that.
One of the questions I was asked recently was, of everything that I've done so far, what is the one thing that I wish I had done differently? I thought about it long and hard, and I can go and talk about each individual piece and point to little things that are not perfect, but will do. But I think the one thing that I wish I had done differently is this trailing edge. Now, if you remember in the build, this actually happened fairly early in the build process, and it works just fine. In fact, this is going to be a wonderful rudder. It's going to do a good job. It's free and clear. The travel is smooth. I'm actually pretty happy with it. The problem is, and I don't know if it's a problem, but it's just an observation, when I did all of the riveting on this trailing edge, I put all of the shop heads on one side and all of the flat heads on the other. And I don't know if that was the best way to go. I probably should have alternated them. I didn't think that through, and it just didn't occur to me that that would be a thing. So even though the trailing edge of my rudder is perfectly straight, I'm actually impressed with how straight it is, I might end up going back through and drilling out every other one and flip them around just to get a better fit. Also, you can kind of run your finger along the shop head side and kind of feel them a little bit, as opposed to the other side, which you can't feel at all. Plus that top one needs to be redone anyways. So of everything, I think that's the one thing that I really will probably redo. Most of the other stuff I'm actually very happy with. And thankfully, redoing this will be actually very easy. Since I'm only going to drill out every other one, I don't have to worry about resealing or anything like that. And it'll be quick. It'd be a couple hours at most. So that's it. I think that's the one thing. The next thing I want to talk about is the one thing that I wish Vans would have done a little differently. So far, when you're building this kit, it's kind of a mystery as to how it's all going to come together, but once the pieces do come together, it makes a lot of sense, with the exception of that hole. This hole is not big enough. And the reason this hole is not big enough is because there are some screws right here that you have to get to, and the only way you can get to the nuts on the inside is by sticking your arm through this hole. If you have even a remotely large arm or a normal sized arm, I can't get it through this hole. This hole needs to be about a ½ inch bigger all the way around. That's really my only complaint, Vans. It's a minor one. I can get in there, but it kind of boogers up my arm a little bit. Anyways, everything else is pretty cool.